overwhelming message that I was getting for you. We have a lot of reverse cards, which, doesn't always signify a bad month. But I do feel that one of the major keywords for this month for some of you is what's next? Where do I go from here? And it seems almost to me as if a few of you might be at the peak of your career and you're looking to branch out. You're looking for other opportunities that can bring a lot more emotional fulfillment in the way in which you're making your money. So I feel like, it's a very fortunate circumstance to be in. But I feel that, you're no longer emotionally fulfilled with your job. You could be, making money hand over fist. You could be quite successful. You could, also have quite a bit of power and prestige in your career front or in the work that you're doing. But it seems to me as if you're looking for a lot more out of life. You don't want to deal with the mundane, with the minutia of, the everyday work environment. And I feel that a lot of you are in a structure work setting where, everything is a little bit more procedural, a little bit more regimented. And you might also be in a supervisory or in a kind of like, at the peak of your career here with the Empress. And because you're at the peak, it's kind of difficult for you to advance any further. But at the same time, there are a lot of things in here that are indicating to me this is a month in which, things are going to flatline. It's you don't have like very severe highs and lows. You just have kind of like a steady pace, and things are starting to settle. Everything is starting to solidify so that you can decide what's the next move that I need to take. If I'm maxed out at my career or my current job, where do I need to look for other opportunities? And I do feel one of the main things that you hadn't really thought about is doing multiple jobs at once. Okay, so like doing two jobs at once, for example. A lot of you are very, very structured in a way where you have a preconceived notion of how things are supposed to be. It's not that you're not open-minded to other opportunities, but you feel like work is supposed to be this way, relationship is supposed to be this way, family is supposed to be this way. So you have things neatly compartmentalized in a way that is rational and logical in your mind. However, I feel like the universe coming through with this spread is forcing you to branch out. It's forcing you to look at other avenues that you can make money that will bring you a lot more emotional satisfaction, okay? And I'm sensing that some of you need to really, really, really take initiative and step out a bit outside of your comfort zone. I'm seeing a lot of fear, and the fear is more about like, a lot of it is more like emotional fears, fear of being in a new environment, starting something new, and failing, fear of failure, and also some innate fears that are holding you back from really embracing life, living life to the fullest, and, being a little bit more spontaneous. So I feel like that's where some of you are holding yourself back, okay? If opportunities come in for this month, your instinctive, response should be yes, I'll do it. And I feel like a lot of you might have turned down opportunities in the past that could have been really good for you, that would have provided, opportunities for growth, for getting to know yourself, for overcoming a lot of these irrational fears and phobias that you might have. And so coming through for this month, I do feel that, they're saying the opportunities will be around, especially for this year, because, it's a universal number 1 year, which brings a lot of new things. However, if we're operating from a place of fear and, status quo and not wanting to branch out and not feeling as if we are confident enough in ourselves in order to branch out, I feel like that's still a fear-based response, and it's something that you have to overcome. Okay, so say yes to opportunities, however minor they might come in for this month. All right. What I'm seeing here, and as soon as I pulled out this card, and this rules your ninth house, which indicates philosophies, higher education, travel. And as soon as this card came out, they're saying a spiritual journey. So I feel many of you are planning or are going to be taking a trip for this month. This might be something you've been planning for the last 3 months and you're finally ready. There's finally, a break in your work schedule, or there might be some type of contracts that haven't been finalized. And so you're taking a big journey. This is like overseas travel, waiting for, I feel that you might be traveling with another person. And I'm seeing like, traveling with 3 people, or even traveling with another person to see another person, or traveling by yourself to see 2 other people. But I feel like you're going to be traveling with other people. For some of you, here's what I'm sensing. If you are going away, and because it's if it's business related, and if it's related to like business partnerships, and especially contracts, okay, sending out, like signing contracts with another company, I feel like you're kind of I want to say like the contract situation, it will get finalized, but it's not going to be this month. So I feel like there's still some underhanded tactics that's being, I hear the word like outmaneuvered. So if you are traveling to a foreign land to secure some type of contract, for example, I feel like there are office politics. There are, like social norms associated with how contracts are being formed. So it's going to get dragged out. It's going to get drawn out for quite a few months before everything starts to clear up and before things get finalized. So the important thing here is, this is a trip that, because you're a very results oriented type of a person, you do A so that you can, achieve B. I feel like it's going to overturn your expectations a little bit, not in a bad way. And that's why they mention specifically, it is a spiritual journey. So you feel like, okay, I'm just going to go there to get this done. But I feel like it's more about the process and not so much the results, okay? It's more about the process of being there, taking in the sights and the sounds and the culture, taking in, the experience of being in that environment, the anticipation for this negotiation, the anticipation of meeting people that are very different from you philosophically and ideologically. And so not only will you get a lot of insights into, how business is conducted, where those people are coming from, but you're also getting a perspective in terms of like, hey, that's a great idea. I can, start doing business here, or I should start to do business this way, or what I've been doing in the past might not be the best way. So we're getting like the best practices coming through with this card here, where interactions with other people, especially outside of your norm, and especially foreigners, and especially people from overseas, is going to bring you with a lot of creative projects that are starting to solidify or gel, or they're going to, give you some really good insights, inspiration, and ideas that will allow you to switch gears, even do a 180 when it comes to your career, and see where you are going to start branching out. So I feel like everything is culminating, everything is bubbling to the surface. And once things bubble to the surface, it's going to take some time for us to go off on a specific idea and start to manifest ideas or manifest projects or create new projects for yourself. This is a very hands-on type of card, and it does require some patience and some waiting on other people. But I do feel ultimately you're getting some great insights into new business ventures, new business ideas that you can be internal. It is a spiritual journey. There will be a lot of growth, a lot of wisdom, a lot of insights that can be had in the process of, going through the journey. Don't rush it. Don't rush the negotiations. Let things play out in its natural time. And I feel that, you can affect the outcome in a positive way if you take a step back rather than pushing forward, okay? Rather than claiming your territory, putting your stake in the sand. Take a more out. So take it easy for this month and don't push specific agendas, okay? For others of you, I just see a lot of travels that are coming through for you. A lot of you might have finished up major projects, and you're kind of like, sitting back, no longer inundated with a lot of responsibilities like work, like family obligations, like the everyday things that you have to do in order to sustain yourself. I feel like you are coming out of a big phase of heavy, heavy, heavy burden and responsibility. It is lifting for you for this month. So it might have started, as early as February, but it is going to be over and done with. And everything that you've worked really hard for, it's now time to kind of take it easy, sit back, and figure out the next phase in your life, okay? Going back to the message where I mentioned that, so actually going back to this, so if that were the case for you, you now have a lot of free time and you might be sitting around like twiddling your thumb, like, what do I do now? Where can I apply my skills? And it makes you really uncomfortable, because you're very end results oriented. To sit idle, it makes you really uncomfortable. You're highly functional, highly productive. And so for you to sit still and relax, you can't really do it in a manner that is appropriate. So for those taking this trip, it is going to be a very, very spiritual journey. You're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to learn about where you stand in the world. And I do feel as well, you're going to learn you're going to learn about where you're meant to be and what you're meant to do. Okay, so a lot of awakening is happening in this month. And I feel like some of you, there's a lot of responsibilities within the home environment, and you might not know how to approach it because everything is hitting you, was hitting you so fast. And now that things are starting to kind of lull, or there's this empty, a lot of time that needs to be filled up right now, because this month it's a lot about relaxation. So now that you have the free time, it's really important for you to, start the blueprint for the next phase of your life, okay? And I say that like it's a very easy thing to do. However, I feel like for you, you might not know where to go. So going back to, working professionals, I feel like your work environment, it pays the bills. You've got like, a nice office. You're in a position where you could be supervising people, teaching people, providing a lot of guidance for people, like in a mentorship capacity. And I also feel like because you're in this position, you want to have a lot of control over how you do your work, how things are being implemented, how things are being brought to fruition, who's accountable and who's doing their job and who's not. You want to be fair, you want to be just, and you want to have a lot of say over, how things are being conducted. For whatever reason, I feel like because of it, you're working in a very structural environment where you might not have like a clear say in how things are done. So I'm inclined to believe that, you work in like a big company and there are procedures in place that you can't override. And it can feel a little bit frustrating. And then for others of you in the income front as well, you might be, it can go one of two ways. I feel that you want a job that pays a lot more. Or right now you're at a job where you feel like you can't be able to affect outcomes. So on the one hand, I do see a lot of financial abundance overall because, no news in this, like none of the cards represent pentacles. So no news overall is generally a good thing. Okay. So I feel like finances are not the major concern here. It's just how proud you are of the work that you are doing, how happy you are, how content you are. And I feel like because you're not able to affect the change that that you want in the work environment, you might not be 100% emotionally content with the work that you're currently doing right now. Some of you might be in the helping profession. So I'm seeing teachers, social worker. I'm seeing a lot of people in the court system as well. It could be, like a paralegal, even a lawyer. And even, a judge, magistrate, or somebody working in conjunction with the legal system. And I'm seeing that, there might be situations where you encounter some injustices and you might really empathize and truly like sympathize with the people that are involved in it. So you push yourself to try to help. You push yourself to right some wrongs. And I feel that the emotional toll as well, it's affecting you. So if you are working in a capacity where you see some type of social injustice, it really pushes you to try to do more and you're trying to figure out, how can I do more given the constraints of my job? How can I do more given, all the obligations that I have to fulfill for myself? And so drawing clear boundaries about where you end and where others begin, that's going to be a little bit important on the emotional front. So don't take on other people's emotional burdens as if they were your own, okay? And this is just a key thing when thinking about it. Yes, these, the humanitarian in us wants to help, but we need to understand logically what's the best way for us to apply our skills so that we can achieve the results that we want without I guess like it's more of a concerted effort rather than a lone wolf approach. And I feel for this month, you might realize that you need other people on board to do the same projects, because you as one person, I don't feel that you can do it alone, okay? Not that you're not capable, but I feel like in order to build something sustainable, long lasting, impactful, we're just one person. And so you're going to have to start either training people, gathering people to fight the same cause, or to implement some type of big major projects where you feel it can have a lot of results and uplift a lot of people. So that's what I'm seeing here in this spread. And I feel like you might be stuck. You don't know how to go about it. And taking a little bit of time off to for rest and restoration. Rest and restoration is important, but I feel like the time off is going to be a spiritual journey where where all the pieces will start falling into place and you get to see the big picture, okay? In terms of your family situation, let me just say this. A lot of you are doing like family planning or redecorating your house or doing some type of overhauling your environment. I see a lot of people setting up like nurseries. I see a lot of people painting their rooms, like repainting a room, decorating, doing a lot of little home projects here and there, whatever projects that you didn't have enough time for. I feel like you're picking them back up and you're getting them finished once and for all. So I feel like, the energy is a little bit unsettling because a lot of things are still happening, even though like cosmetic changes are still happening, little things are still happening in your environment. And they're telling you to just relax, take it easy, because I feel like you have all the time now. And so you're trying to accomplish everything, and it irks you when things are kind of like left unfinished. So I feel like you're just looking for things to do. You're just looking for things to do. And so the best thing to do is to relax, okay? Do some meditation, because I feel like there might be some very, very high-strung Virgos. I'm seeing that energy here, where if you have a moment of rest, you feel guilty. Where if you're sitting there idle, you feel restless. So just be careful of this energy. You need some proper rest and restoration, okay? You need like to do guilty pleasure activities. And, just sitting there watching TV for a few hours, guilty pleasure things, and don't beat yourself over it. Just take it easy this month, okay? So going back to your relationship sector here, what I'm feeling is this. We have here the Judgment card in the reverse position. So first of all, the message I was getting here is some health issues affecting the relationship. Health issues could be coming in from a partner, from you, or even from the family unit. And I'm seeing a lot more family situation. Health problems, especially from your family or the love relationships, your significant other's family, that might have somebody, feeling quite emotionally distraught. And so I feel like that's a major stressor in the relationship, okay, for those of you in stable relationships. And I'm sensing that I just see a lot of you are like sending text messages back and forth between in-laws, between family members and things like that, just to make sure how the went, how the what was the prognosis, how was the doctor's visit, how was the dental visit, like things like that, little minor things. It could be bigger, but I feel like a lot of text messages back and forth regarding health issues. Okay, so that's what I'm feeling in your relationships. For those of you who have recently ended a relationship, and recent being the past 6 months, I feel that you're still in the mourning stages of that relationship. You're still kind of like on the tail end of that mourning stage. And you want to be left alone. You don't really want to go out and socialize. And I feel like you might have a few people coaxing you to go out and socialize, okay? But, oh, and also if you have people coaxing you to go out and socialize, if you even have like, romantic interests, kind of calling out you out of your shell, definitely do it. I feel that it's going to be very good for your mental health. It's going to be good for you emotionally as well. And it's just good for you. You might feel like you want to be alone, but it's actually really good for you to be with people right now. And you might not realize that. That's the thing, because you want to be productive. You want to, I feel like, especially for those of you who have recently broken up with somebody, you're still not putting yourself out there just yet. And so I feel like the opportunities for dating, flirtations, and things like that, and, just social outing, they're in the picture, but you're not really wanting to go there just yet, okay? In terms of housing situation, again, I feel like there might be some remodeling, some very, very minor cosmetic changes that are coming through. With the tower in the reverse, it usually indicates to me like renovations, okay? But this is more like major renovations. When it shows up in the reverse, it's usually something cosmetic, something that has been lingering. You were going to get around to it, but you might have been busy in the past. So now that you have some time, you're going to get around to it. But I feel like these are things that you're no longer, because of the time, it has dragged on for so long, you no longer feel the urgent need for it. So you're going to pick and choose what projects to work on. The important thing here is, Virgo, it's going to be a little bit of a slow month. You have a lot of time. Do some guilty pleasure activities, because I feel like you're going to derive a lot of joy from it. Surround yourself with a lot more people. All the cards are very solitary. Surround yourself with a lot more people, because I feel like you need the interaction, and you need to surround yourself with people that you can have like very intelligent, engaging, thought-provoking, profound, and meaningful conversations with. And you might have some people soliciting you to go out, but they might be, you don't want superficial conversations. You might be turning down these offers. You want something a little bit more real and a little bit more profound. And you want more of an intellectual debate rather than like an emotional discussion with another person too. So overall, it's slow, but it's definitely manageable. Okay, it's a little bit more of a slow month. So the major theme here is, taking time off for yourself. Do some reflecting. And I do feel, taking a trip this month is going to be very good for you. It's going to solidify some major plans for you guys, okay? So having said that, I'm going to go on to your the next portion of your reading. And it's going to be the love relationship reading. And we have this card coming out here for the seventh house. And I look at the seventh house as love relationships, okay? So we're going to use that to transition into the next part of your reading. So let me get the cards out here. Love, relationship, and romance. Okay, so we've got an earth sign couple here. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You could be in a relationship with another earth sign. And there's a little bit of a trouble in paradise type of energy that I'm feeling here. Okay. So let me talk about the coupled people, because it seems to me like you and another person that you're in a relationship with, you're trying to decide where to take the relationship. I feel like this is an established couple, okay, an established couple. So we have here the Queen of Coins and the King of Coins, the Queen of Pentacles or the King of Pentacles. So this denotes to me like a couple that has had possibly living together, has joint assets together, have been together for quite some time, where they know each other's likes and dislikes, they know each other's quirks, okay? So I feel like we have an established relationship that's coming into the picture here. Or, and I feel like you've been with each other for a few years. You might be living together at this point, and you're trying to decide which direction to go. And I feel like this is coupled up with the star. So, you know, either person could be you, but I feel like you or your partner might be in a position where you want more out of life. You're looking at you're looking at, not that you're, you know, looking around for other opportunities to date, but it's more like you want more out of life. You feel a little bit stuck in your present predicament, okay? And so a lot of you are kind of like, is this the right person for me? Is this on the one hand, I feel like you do really love each other, but you're trying to look at the bigger picture and you're trying to decide whether or not this person is the right one for you, whether or not you're meant to be together, like long term, to get married, to, you know, have children, settle down. And I feel like there's a little bit of an energy of cold feet, and I don't usually see this for earth signs overall, and especially not for you, because you're very deliberate with the things that you're doing and you don't invest unless you know it's going to pan out. But I do feel an energy of a little bit of cold feet. It's almost like you're not really sure whether or not you're with the right person. I do feel that you love them. I do feel there's a sense of comfort and familiarity in the relationship. But I do sense as well, you do want more out of life. You won't feel a little bit stuck right now. And you also feel like this relationship is somewhat stagnant as well. And so you're trying to decide, okay? I still feel, though, they're saying there's a lot of healing that needs to take place, okay? There's a lot of healing. There's a lot of just inner work that needs to take place in this relationship. So that could also, you know, be you or your partner knowledge about. So we have here this earth sign person. It could be a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising. But either way, I feel this is your relationship partner. They might be in a position where their mood is fluctuating. Okay, so they might be dealing with some sadness, grief, or a little bit of melancholy for this month. And we have as well the hangman, and this also indicates some type of I'm seeing like illness. I'm seeing some emotional fluctuations as a result of worries about health, worries about something that is internal. So this is what I call like the MRI card, where you have to go through, you know, like go under a machine and they're trying to figure out what's wrong with your body. So I feel like somebody in your environment, especially in your romantic life, might be dealing with this melancholy and feeling almost as if they're bound to a situation and they're not really sure how to proceed. So I do feel a lot of you are very concerned about your partner, and it seems like you want to approach your partner and you want to ease their pain. Like if they're sad or if they're just feeling a little bit more detached, you want to reach out to them, but for some reason they're not very receptive. So they might need a lot of space this month. It's just the normal ebb and flow of life, you know. And I feel like if you're with an earth signs actually, they need a lot of time to themselves too. So they like to tinker with stuff on their free time. And if this is a male earth sign that you're dealing with, I feel like he needs regardless of whatever gender you are, if this is a male partner that you're dealing with, he needs to be, in his den, tinkering with things, fixing things, dithering with things. So I feel like that's where he goes when he's a little bit stressed out. So I feel like you need to give him that alone time. Okay, so I feel like you like to talk about problems when they come up. He seems to me to be a little bit more reserved. He or she seems to me to be a little bit more reserved. So if you're the Virgo dating another earth sign specifically, I feel like he or she needs a lot more space, and you have to be respectful that, they're not pushing you away. They just need their space to sort through some things, and they do it best when they're physically engaged doing some type of tinkering. So just leave them to their den and let them figure things out. You can bring food by, I guess, and I know you guys like doing that. So leave them alone, okay? Leave them alone for this month. Things will be okay. They just need to sort through some things in their own lives, okay? Aside from that, what we have here is, first of all, for those of you who are newly single, you might have recently separated from somebody else, and you're still dealing with this a little bit of, separation pains and heartache associated with that. And they're telling you, on the one hand, you feel like this might have been the one. You felt like it could have, led to marriage. There might have been an engagement that kind of got disbanded, or there might have been, a marriage that got disbanded. So I definitely feel like there's some residual pain and heartache here for those who have recently separated. And we have as well the Seven of Cups in the reverse. So this was a situation where you thought it was going to, go the distance. And with the separation card and the Seven of Cups, I'm almost feeling like you're not in the mood to be dating. You're not in the mood to, branch out and see other people just yet, because you're still nursing this heartache. So either way, if that's the case, there needs to be a lot of waiting on to see whether or not they're going to be coming back. You're waiting to see whether or not you should reach out to them. So I see you kind of like darting back and forth. Should I or shouldn't I? And my advice here is they want to be left alone at this present moment. So if you have recently broken up, don't overthink it, okay? Leave the time to yourself to mourn and to forget as well. Because if you keep ruminating over it, it makes it so much harder for you to move on. So I feel like for those who are newly single, just broken up, you're not in the position to be dating yet. And you might be thinking, okay, I should put myself out there, but I don't feel that you're ready. And when we put ourselves out there and we're not completely ready, it can also be a major turnoff too for the people that we're interacting with, because we're going to lug our emotional baggage into, new encounters, which is not a good thing. Okay, so just be careful about that. I'm sensing for some of you here in relationships as well, there might be, little snippets of outbursts. So like snippets of somebody, I feel like somebody is very, very moody. Like you are a partner, and I feel like it might be coming from a partner. Somebody is like, for some reason, I see mobility is restricted. So it seems almost as if somebody might not have a car, and then one partner has to drive the other person around. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because in sickness and in health, we need to be respectful of that they're when we sign up for a relationship, we want to be present in bad times and good times. But I feel like somebody's getting frustrated because of somebody's lack of initiative, or somebody's mobility is restricted. And I feel like this is just a minor bump in the road. I feel like there might have been a lot of just little bickering here and there in the past, but it's all in a good spirit. So I feel like you're going to come out of this unscathed. So it might just be like another argument, a recurring thing, a recurring theme in a relationship, and you're going to come out of it unscathed. So don't use it as like, he or she is breaking up with me. I feel like it's going to come back together. Okay, so just be careful about that, and especially don't let it escalate, because I feel like it could lead to severe misunderstandings. Okay, so just be very, very careful about the way you communicate with the other person. especially give them a lot of space, because I feel like they need that space. And sometimes they might just, they just need to be by themselves. And I feel like you want to talk things out. You want to, hey, what's wrong? Is there anything I can do? And I feel like they just want to be a little bit just, they want to cocoon themselves off, and they just want to be alone. All right. In the past position, we have as well the Strength card and the Six of Wands. The Strength card and the Six of Wands basically means that a lot of time, you and your partner, there has been a lot of time devoted to career advancement and taking care of other people. Okay, so this can be family members. This can be taking care of people in your work environment, working very long hours in order to get the success and the accolades that you need. Okay, you or your partner can both be very involved in the process of building your public image, building your career. And I do see a lot of like neglecting your health, or neglecting the health of the relationship, because you were so focused on your public image and your career. Not that it's a bad thing. I feel like you were in high demand. You were busy. Your partner might have also been very busy. And now that whole process has been achieved, now you're in a very good standing. I feel like the time right now is to focus on your relationship, okay? So you got to take it easy this month, and focus on the things that matter to you. So I feel like there might be, once again, that image about idle hands. I feel like you're not as busy, and I feel that you need to catch up on sleep. You need to catch up on like house maintenance, washing dishes, doing laundry, doing major cleanup in your entire house. Because I feel like the relationship and also the housing situation might have been neglected for the past few months. So it's really important to catch up. In terms of like singles and dating, I don't see, solid prospects here. I feel like there might be an earth sign, a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn, or even an Aquarius person that you are thinking about, and you're just kind of like, does this person like me? They're very popular. Do I have enough like good redeeming qualities for them to want to date me, for example? So I feel like you're thinking heavily about another person, but everything is very like, thought based. It's like you're thinking heavily about them, but there's no contact. It's like you're not showing them your intentions. And I feel like some of you are just very shy, and you're waiting for the other person to make a move. And I'm sensing like, a lot of you might be coveting, like thinking heavily about like either an Aquarius female, or like an earth sign female that you're very interested in, and you've been hurt before too. So you're not ready yet just to make this move, okay? If it is that another earth sign or an Aquarius that you're thinking about, they are really urging you that the time is not right now, okay? I feel like the time, yeah, they're going to be overcoming some challenges in their own lives, and then they're going to be ready. So I feel like, keeping things platonic for the time being is going to be good, because I feel that you want to get to know them a little bit more before you state your intentions, okay? So Virgos, I hope the reading has been helpful for you. I do wish you the best. My website is in the description box below, where you can view my availability and book an appointment directly through the website. And if you'd like to donate to the channel as well, it's always greatly appreciated. The donation link is also in the description box below. I wish you the best. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.